Week 3 of our diabetes reversal video series is here. All you need to do is hold on to the plan. Hello, Dr. Joe here of the AskDrJoe.org and the 2020 from.com. So I like to be methodical in my approach to life. I like to be systematic. And it is the same principle that I'm applying to this diabetes reversal video series. And I'm hoping that you will appreciate that because that way you have a structure, you have a very nice framework in your mind as to how to approach the problem. And I'm hoping that it works for you because that is what worked for me. So, what I'm going to be doing in week 3, well, this is quite interesting. You're going to love week 3. But before we do, 2 quick plugs. The first is about my book. This is my book on managing high blood pressure with lifestyle approach. Links to get the book right below this very video. And the second plug is that if you appreciate what I do on this channel, please head over to AskDrJoe.org. Over there, you can pledge a little bit of support for the channel, and you also get to ask questions in return. There are other benefits. You just head over and you will see what I mean. Links to that very page right below this video as well. So let's dive straight into week 3. Okay, so in week 3, what are we going to be doing? Well, we will be adding. Okay, we're going to be adding in week 3. So the next question is going to be, what are we adding? Well, I'll tell you, we are going to be adding legumes, or as some people prefer to call them, pulses. That's what we are going to be adding in week 3. So, next question, why legumes? Why did we choose to add legumes in week 3? Well, I'll tell you, it is the way the carbohydrates in legumes are structured. Okay, that is the reason why they're really good for managing your diabetes. That's the reason they're really good for managing your insulin resistance. The way the carbohydrates in legumes are structured. Now, Dr. Joe, can you tell me more about this structure that you are raving about? Well, I will tell you. And that is the fact that 30% of the carbs in legumes, especially beans, is made up of resistant starch by weight. Okay, this is the main reason. 30% of the carbs in legumes or pulses is made up of resistant starch. That is fantastic news for us because resistant starch is indigestible starch that doesn't contribute to calories, which means it will help us in our weight management. But beyond that, it also means that the indigestible starch does not contribute to any blood sugar rises. Okay, so we're not going to be having blood sugar spikes with legumes if we consume them wisely. Okay, because we're doing things in a stepwise manner, and that means in week 3 we're adding them. Don't forget, in week 2 we have taken out the oil. So in week 3 we're adding a food that is going to help us manage our type 2 diabetes because it's got plenty of indigestible starch. This also means that legumes have a high fiber content. The fact that they've got resistant starch also means they've got high fiber content. They also have soluble fiber, by the way. And do remember that when it comes to managing your type 2 diabetes, managing your insulin resistance, fiber is your friend. Okay, fiber is your friend in managing type 2 diabetes. One more reason is that legumes are also full of protein. Okay, and as we know, protein slows down sugar absorption. That's the second reason why we really love legumes in managing our insulin resistance and our type 2 diabetes. So, what does this translate to? Well, it means that by consuming pulses, by consuming legumes, you are getting good quality carbs. Okay, legumes are good quality carbs. It also means you are consuming a high fiber food. It also means you are consuming a food that is low in the glycemic index scale.
foods low in glycemic index are what we want when it comes to managing our diabetes and insulin resistance. So, next question is going to be, you're talking about legumes, pulses. What are we going to eat? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to eat. Let me get into some specifics. Well, you're going to be eating white beans, okay, or cannellini beans. They're lovely. You're going to love them. If you're not eating them yet, you need to start eating them in week 3. Haricot beans or navy beans, or as some people prefer to call them, Boston beans. They are some of the beans that you are going to be consuming. They're good for managing your diabetes. Chickpeas or garbanzo beans, as some people prefer to call them, you want to fall in love with your chickpeas. They will help you manage your insulin resistance, as will red kidney beans. Okay, red kidney beans, lovely, lovely beans as well. Black beans are another that you're going to be consuming. Okay, black beans, I know they're not visually appealing, but they will help you in managing your type 2 diabetes and your insulin resistance. Black eyed peas are another beans that you're going to be consuming. You will love them. I love them. I eat them a lot. So, another version of beans for you there. Mung beans are another beans that you're going to be consuming. I know they're not very popular, but if you seek them out, you'll find mung beans, and they are really lovely for managing your type 2 diabetes too. Let's not forget lentils, okay? They're lovely, full of fiber. Same reason, okay? Lentils are pulses, lentils are legumes. So we are going to be eating them. Sweet peas or garden peas or green peas, as some people prefer to call them, they're also really nice for managing your insulin resistance, managing your type 2 diabetes. Something you may not know is that my journey for managing my pre-diabetes initially started off with keto, and of course, I just didn't like it. I felt it was too dangerous for me, and I switched over to really consuming carbs. And I have to say that green peas, they were one of the first carbohydrates that I turned to in managing my pre-diabetes, and they really helped me a lot. So please do not forget, your sweet peas. They're really nice, even though they're sweet. They're good for managing your insulin resistance. I can confirm that they're good for managing your insulin resistance, and they will help you to reverse your insulin resistance, your pre-diabetes, and your type 2 diabetes. Trust me on this one. So here's the strategy. If you remember, in week 1, we added non-starchy vegetables, right? That's what we did in week 1. And in week 2, we took out the oil from our diet, or at least reduce the consumption. So in this week 3, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be adding the legumes to the non-starchy vegetables that we previously added in week 1. Okay? That way, you are going to be having a wholesome meal that is good for managing your insulin resistance. This is how you win, okay? This is how you win the battle of reversing your type 2 diabetes.
So yes, it's legumes week. So you want to consume those pulses, please. And you can have them in the canned versions, but just make sure it is the canned beans in water, okay? Not in brine. So here I've got chickpeas in water here. And here I've got cannellini beans in water as well. So, what else? Well, how about black eyed peas? I've got some black eyed peas here. Lovely. Okay. And what else? Red lentils. Okay, red lentils. These are the kind of foods you want to be eating in week 3. These are the foods we're going to be adding to the non-starchy vegetables from week 1. And if we do that, we will be winning. But more importantly, remember, we're going to take out the oil, okay? That's what we did in week 2, especially the saturated fat. That has to go. And the unsaturated fat, if we're keeping it, we have to reduce the consumption to the really bare minimum, okay? Really bare minimum. Not more than 30 grams of fat per day in your diet. That's how you win. And that step is very, very important. I cannot emphasize the week 2 fact enough, okay? Taking out the oil, reducing your oil consumption. So if you do that, you are going to win. You're going to reverse your type 2 diabetes. So let's see what happens in week 4. It's all getting very exciting, and I'll see you in week 4. By the way, don't forget to go to askdrjoe.org to just support this channel. So hopefully you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, and please share this video with your friends, your family, with your colleagues. If you've got any questions, any comments regarding the content of this very video presentation, go ahead, leave your comments or questions down below. And if you got questions, you can also go to askdrjoe.org. I think that's about it for week 3. I'll see you in week 4. Until then, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.